Next job, next job on the 1200, we were just looking at putting some decent batteries on it really. It's got a bit slow starting recently. It might be a lazy starter, but we've never really had a decent battery on this tractor, so we thought we'd get two new batteries. I've made a new clamp for the bottom, so that fits in there. It's not strictly speaking original spec, but it's okay. The top clamp is actually an original one. And they're selling on eBay for a fortune, but that's another story. So we're just on with making the ends up. So we've got the neutral on. So we've clipped it down there. So there's a little cut out in the corner there. I don't know exactly where these cables are meant to run, but there was a hole there, so we've just opened it out and put a clip on. So we're just going to do the positive side. So I'll just trim these ends up. I've already put this end on. That end's on. I'll put a bit of lay flat on that maybe, just to make it red, because the original cable, as you can see, it's sort of must have been, I think when you shut the door, if that's been round like that, I think it's been jammed in behind this bit of plate here. As you can see, there's actually a cutout in this end, as well as that end where it tapers back. So I'm assuming the black cable goes up there like the negative, and the positive comes up this corner, and I'll have to loop it round. So we'll see how we get on. If this phone will stay in focus. So this is how I was taught to do the battery ends. So I've cut the cable off nice and square, and then you just get a bit of plain copper wire. It's what, about 1.5 mm diameter. And just set off and just tie the ends together. I think you can get sleeves for this job, but I haven't got any, so we'll go with this. It just keeps all the ends together, and it gives it something for the bolt to grip on when you put the battery clamp on. See if we can get a churn out of this tractor. As I said before, that it could be a lazy starter, but we thought we'll get the battery squared up first, we'll put it back as it should be. So these are like what's specified in the book. So the 520 amps, 96 amp hour. And there's two of them. So I've already done that end, and that's clamped on, so that'll just go under there, and it just gives a bolt somewhere to nip into, and it holds all the end together, makes it solid instead of using a sleeve. Yeah, so this is the other end that we're going to put on. So we're just going to wrap this way around. I know that this is slightly burned, this cable. It's the only one I've got at the minute. As I said previously, this is how I was taught to do battery terminals without a sleeve, battery clamp should I say. It's about maybe 1.5 mm in diameter, this cable. It's just like household cable that I've stripped out. It's nothing fancy. Just try and keep your strands kind of straight as you go. So if anybody's got a better way of doing it, feel free to put in the comment section below. So this is alive as well, and it's black cable. So I'll put a bit of heat shrink on this. I've got some red heat shrink. So that's the cable on. We've just heat shrinked some red slaving on there just to give it a bit of extra protection. So this you just want to screw on the way that it tightens the outside copper, if it will, and keep your strands in. And it's actually quite slack that, so you don't need to twist it in. So it's on like that. So I think we'll clip that sort of down there and up and round, something like that I think. So maybe if we go to tighten it up at that. So I'll set that on the tyre. I'd rather stab the tyre than my finger, I think. Well, I definitely know. So that's that. So you can see that gives absolute sound joint that. I might just cut the end of that off I think before we fit this. Just polish it off, tidy it up. So that's just tidied the end of that up. So I'll put a bit of Vaseline on it just to stop it corroding. So I'm thinking along the line somewhere like that. That. sort of space in here with this guard and the film crew as well. Yep, so that's quite tight. So we'll put a clip on there. That should just hold, and then as the door shuts, should just tuck nicely in the back of there. Hopefully. Yeah. So that's just wired up. So I don't know exactly how it was meant to be when it left the factory, but I suppose I've no way of knowing. So we've just fastened them around there. We've took that bolt out, put a clip on, so it should sit in this little cutout here, and then it goes along, and that end should, that tapered bit misses there as the door shuts. So I suppose all we need to do now is see if it starts. It's two decent batteries, so if it doesn't start now, it's got a lazy starter. So I'll try it. That seemed to start well, so I suspect it was the batteries at fault, but we'll see how it goes. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. We're just tinkering away with these tractors and things in among hands. So if you've enjoyed the videos we've done, just give us a like, please subscribe to the channel. We've got over 100 subscribers now, so we're doing okay. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.